c'est parti. Ce sera un départ, disons, moyen.
11h52.
De plus réussi. Mais attention.
Since 97 years, the Le Mans 24 Hours. For the legend and forever.
On va lever un peu le pied, ce qui permet à mieux partir en tête devant Pescarolo, Ragnotti, Ludo.
League seats through the windscreen of the Jaguar.
Since 58 years, the Daytona 24 Hours. For the legend and forever.
The 24 Hours, number 98 runs easily in front. Last year's winners, when it was a 12-hour race, Ken Miles.
The common history of Imsa and ACO, dedicated to endurance racing. It is now time to propose a convergence. Convergence for the top category. Convergence for victory. Convergence for the success and future of endurance racing. LMDH. Le Mans. Daytona H. Coming soon.
It's a goal that we've shared for a number of years to be able to bring the overall opportunity for a win at Le Mans and Daytona together. We've continued to work together through our technical groups have been working together through the current LMP2 DPI program. And this is a continuation of that work as we have an opportunity now at hand to have a car capable of victory in both of our iconic events. The car that was going to be introduced and will be a category of car that will begin competing in the WEC series in September of 21 and in the IMSA WeatherTech series in January of 22. There's still quite a bit of details to be finalized, as you can imagine, but our technical teams headed by Simon and Terry from the ACO are working diligently to be able to have an announcement on the technical regulations at the combined Super Sebring weekend.
Thank you, Mr. France. I'll come back to you in a moment because I have a follow-up for you. But if I may, President Fillon, a fantastic announcement. You and I were talking before our guests came in here. It seems almost unbelievable to me. Are we entering, or are we in, another golden era of sports car racing?
Yes, good morning, everybody. I agree with you, John, that we are opening a new chapter of endurance racing here today. And as Jim said, we have been working together on this for some time, and Convergence will offer manufacturers, partners, media, and the fans a fantastic opportunity to see the best racing in the most prestigious events on both sides of the Atlantic. I think it's the right time for this to happen, and we are very proud to be here today to tell you about that.
I can't take the smile off my face, and I can see it's a dream come true for you as well, Pierre. Mr. France, fairly obvious question, really, but why would a manufacturer choose to build a car and to enter the LMDH category of racing?
Well, I can't speak for the manufacturers, but I have spent a great deal of time listening to the manufacturers. And it's kind of a universal thread that they are requesting both of the ACO and Imsa to have a category that they could compete in that would allow them to amortize their investments in motorsports across the broader range of series and on a global basis. And this is a major step to accommodate those wishes.
And Pierre, how does this affect, in fact, does this affect at all and change anything with regards to the ACO's existing LMH, the hypercar program?
No, it doesn't affect and doesn't change the Le Mans hypercar regulations. As you know, the Le Mans hypercar regulations will be introduced in September 2020 for the 2021 WEC seasons. Manufacturers can continue to build their own chassis or to develop a car on the basis of a road car. As you know, Toyota, Aston Martin, Peugeot have announced their commitment, and the addition of the LMDH car, which is eligible alongside the Le Mans hypercar category, will only make stronger the top category.
And Mr. France, I know we're not going to go into a lot of technical detail today, but what other details can you give us about what I can only say is a long-awaited top category convergence?
Well, as you know, we're pretty far along on our DPI 2.0 process that's been underway, and the ability to have a cost-effective opportunity for OEMs is adopting some of the efforts that we've created and the working relationships that we've had with our constructors and our OEMs on a model that would allow them to have an economic, cost-effective way of entering endurance sports car racing for overall victory.
So it's clear then, Pierre, that the LMDH program has had to be optimized to achieve what Mr. France was talking about. That. How's that? How have you gone about that?
In fact, we have introduced a common platform for a car which will be able to compete in WeatherTech Sports Car Championship and in WEC and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. This new chassis will be produced by the 4 chassis manufacturers here today. This is Dallara, Ligier, Multimatic, and Oreca, using common elements to reduce costs. And this new chassis, which offers economic and regulatory stability, as well as increased the visibility of the brand, will also serve as the basis of the next generation of LMP2 for the next 10 years.
Next 10 years,
yes.
LMP2. Right. Did you note that down, everybody? I think that's quite important too, talking about the LMP2 category. Gerard, what does this do for the World Championship? Does it change anything? Does it change the stakes, how people are going to compete?
No, not at all. Probably exactly the opposite. We have to say that if we have just a look with the picture on the wall around the room here, with the historical convergence car that already raced in both platforms, we have this incredible chance to have in sports car, in the WCO, in the WeatherTech, a huge heritage with fantastic competitors, amazing people and OEMs participating and providing very high performance level. And with this LMDH announcement today, we have just extended the stage. We have opened a bigger stage, and we know very well that we are never stronger and better than when we are working together, racing together, and when we provide the base stage for these competitors. Our mission, our goal, was to prepare and to provide the best future for the sports car. And we can say that with the LMDH, this is clearly an added value included for the WEC.
President Doonan, John, this is an interesting start to your appointment. I know you're a detail man as well as an overview man. Can you tell us a little bit about the car? And I'm guessing that most people will want to know when we might see examples of these new LMDH machines somewhere.
For sure, John, and adding my thanks and welcome to everyone who's taken time out of their day to join us. This is a historical moment. Thanks to, frankly, the vision that Jim had working with the Imsa technical team and the concept around what we have now, the current DPI. We're not straying too far from that. And what Hypercar has done, allowing manufacturers to choose from one of 4 constructors. We've got representatives, I know you're going to recognize them here in a little bit, from Dallara, Ligier, Multimatic, and our friends at Orica, but allowing a manufacturer to choose one of those base chassis, to engage with their design teams, back at their design centers, to stylize the bodywork and engage their brand story in the bodywork, to choose their ICE, their internal combustion engine of choice, and then in this case with LMDH, to add a single source hybrid system to the car. Produces an opportunity to showcase brand technology as well as green technology. So, for example, like we have had here with our current investors, Acura, Cadillac, Mazda, or those who are in the room, for example, a Porsche, a Hyundai could choose a chassis maker, a constructor, choose their engine, add the KERS system, and the design and styling that's made DPI so special, or what Hypercar's vision was. The proposed start date would be September of 2021 and 2022 here in Imsa. So 2021 for the WEC and 2022 here in Daytona for Imsa.
I know we're going to get some more technical details at the Mobil 1 12 Hours of Sebring, the Super Sebring joint event. Do I presume there has to be a balance of performance here? And also, what length of life do we think of these cars? Because that's quite key, isn't it, when we were talking about the amortization of investment?
Well, based on my first 90 days, I'm thinking of doing away with BOP. No. Absolutely, it'll be... No, I'm kidding. Based on...
You just panicked all the manufacturer representatives in the front row there, I tell you what.
Based on the great work of both technical teams, Thierry Bouvet and Simon Hodgson and his team, both of their teams, it will absolutely be a balance of performance platform. As you said, more details to come at Super Sebring here, and hard to believe, less than 60 days.
And life of the car?
Well, without a doubt, we're looking at a minimum of a 5-year homologation. So when a manufacturer partner, when a tire partner, when companies invest in LMDH as a platform, companies like WeatherTech that are so important to us, they know that they're making an investment in something long term.
We can maybe share. We had a slide just a few minutes ago to explain you the global vision about the different platform with the right schedule for the entry of these different. That's exactly this one. So you can have an idea about the period when the LMDH will enter in IMSA or in WEC, but also the new chassis LMP2 and a global vision regarding the cars, allow it to compete on the top categories in sports car.
Ed, if I may ask you, IMSA and the ACO, pretty much throughout the time that I've been involved, certainly with IMSA, have already had a close relationship. There's been exchanges of ideas and concepts. If I may borrow a French word, Gerard and Pierre, this rapprochement, does this mean even closer Sorry, I butchered that, Gerard. I'm sorry.
Be careful.
You did better than me. So,
Does this mean closer, even closer collaboration between what effectively are the two major entities in worldwide endurance racing?
yeah, thank you, John, and good morning, everyone. I think the answer is absolutely yes. You look back to really Don Panos and Scott Atherton in the late 90s when they started this relationship. This relationship has continued to grow, and it's gotten deeper with Jim and Pierre. All of us rally around that. Obviously, they have such a deep passion for motorsports. They love it. We live in a world today, I think, where collaboration is bigger and more important than ever. It doesn't matter the sport, the industry. So between our sponsor partners, I'm looking at David McNeil, WeatherTech. Thank you for being here. Cooper, congratulations last night. Our friends from Michelin, Rolex, all the OEMs, all the chassis constructors. I think the difference today is all these different groups around the world are working closer, more transparent than ever for the good of the sport. And organizers like Imsa, ACO, we're one of the spokes in the wheel of motorsport, but I think what makes the wheel strong is all of us working together collaboratively. I think these will be fantastic cars. I think we'll have a great challenge in front of us on the technical side to get things completed on this timeline, but that's part of the challenge of motorsport. But we're very, very excited to be here today. We're excited for this next chapter, but no question, it won't be the last. The motorsport family bonds around the world are getting closer than ever and stronger, in my opinion.
Ed, you mentioned some of our constructors. I'd like to point them out to you. Most of you will know them, of course, but would you please recognize, please, in the front row, we've got Udi Shonak from Orica. You, please, if you would. Let's have a round of applause. Raj Nair from Multimatic. Giacomo Campioni from Dallara. And Max Crawford. Max, representing Ligier. A couple of other people who have been instrumental in getting the announcement done today, doing some of the work prior to this. Scott Atherton, where are you, Scott?
Yeah, Scott.
Please. Working tirelessly for IMSA over the last few years and still fulfilling the role of special advisor between IMSA and the ACO. And on the other side of the coin, the advisor to the WEC in North America, Andrew Craig. Andrew, if... Gentlemen, I have to tell you, I'll be lynched if I don't try one more time to get a few more details. Mr. France, when will we have a little more detail about how this racing car will come into being and when it'll be constructed?
Well, like I said, it's still a work in progress on the technical side. The details, I'm counting on Simon and Terry keeping a flow of information going with us. They're working very closely with the constructors and with our OEM partners that are currently engaged with us and are anticipating joining our series. So we will be putting out some periodic information as it develops, but right now this is just the opening.
Crucial milestone, really is. Pierre, come on, give us something. Manufacturers, what can you tell us about manufacturers? Everybody's going to ask you that, so I might as well ask you that.
No, of course, it's not my job, it's not our job to speak on behalf of manufacturers. But I'm sure that today is a very good starting for the future. And we are convinced that the convergence will be very well received by all the manufacturers around the world, and not only in US, in Europe. And we look forward to hearing about their plans, as you do, John.
I did try, okay? I did try. So this, if you like, is chapter 1. Chapter 2 will be at Sebring. We've got the Rolex 24 this weekend for you to enjoy. I know many of you will be back for Super Sebring in March. Before we let our panel go, first of all, gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart as a sports car fan. We will make our guests available to you. But before I have just got one burning question. What does the H mean to you guys? John, let's start at your end and run down. What does the H mean to you? I'm putting you on the spot here.
As a student of the game, you can see all the pictures in the room. Historic, and today's a historic moment.
Gerard?
We could say hopeful or homcycle.
Pierre?
Maybe happy or hypercar.
I knew you would get that in. Mr. Franz?
With Pierre, I think it stands for the future. We're talking about hypercar, hydrogen, hybrid, any technologies that are going to be important to our OEM partners. I think it covers a pretty broad range of opportunity.
Ed?
Hard to be last. Nothing but good things.
Hang on, where was
All
the
positive.
H in that?
All positive.
Of course, what we really know, it stands for Hindorf or Hindycar. That's what I...
That's a good idea.
Hindycar?
Good offer, yeah.
Yeah? All right. Yeah, definitely. We have to make this official, and we need to put some signatures on the agreement from Pierre and Jim France. Ladies and gentlemen, will you thank Jim, Pierre, Gerard, Ed and John? An historic day for sports car racing globally, as LMDH is the future of the top class of endurance sports car racing globally.